My phone alarm blares and wakes me up bright and early. Immediately I roll out of bed. Can't be late for the hot springs trip today. Once I gather my belongings, I make my way downstairs. Mina and Erlen are already seated at the table, and Demiko sets down breakfast when I walk in.
Good morning, sweetie.
Morning.
Do you kids have everything you need for your trip?
Erlen nods while Mina grins.
Yep, I'm all set.
Me too.
Wonderful. I thought it would be nice to drive you to school today. That way, you don't have to walk and carry your luggage.
That would be great. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you. That is very kind.
Yeah, thanks, Aunt Demiko.
Of course.
We finish eating our breakfast and Aunt Demiko drops us off at school.
Have a great trip.
She gives each of us a hug and then departs, including Erlen. We follow the crowd and file onto the buses. Kira already sits in one of the seats and Kosei sits across from her. After greeting everyone, Mina and Erlen squeeze in beside Kira while I sit next to Kosei. Once everyone is accounted for, the bus roars to life and we're on our way. Excited gossip and conversation breaks out across the bus, but I'm still exhausted from getting up early. I lean my head against the glass and quickly fall asleep. Someone shakes me awake.
Hey! Wake up!
I groan and squint through a bright ribbon of sunlight. With another blink, I see Kosei's grinning face. Finally! I sit up and rub my eyes, then I follow everyone off the bus. I'm greeted by a beautiful forest. Giant trees surround the area and flowers sway in the breeze. There is a row of wooden cabins and a building where I assume the reception area is. Two rangers greet Miss Sato and the other teachers.
Class, these rangers will show you to your cabins. You'll have time to explore before the first activity, and afterwards you'll be free for the day. We'll meet here for class. Don't be late!
A male ranger leads the boys to the boys' cabins and a female one leads the girls. Kosei and I follow our ranger to the cabin. Bunks lean against the wooden walls and large windows surround us to let in the sunshine and cool breeze. The cabin has a rustic and cozy atmosphere and I can tell we'll be comfortable staying here. Other students file in and claim their spots. Kosei and I gravitate to the beds in the corner. Since we have some time, what should I do? Don't want to see Mina, so let's head for the garden. The gardens look peaceful. It might be nice to unwind there. As I make my way over, I spot Erlen following one of the trails. This reminds me of Yuna's thing from Ace Academy. Might be the same. Erlen! She pauses, waiting for me to catch up. You're interested in the gardens too, huh?
I heard they're supposed to be beautiful, so I thought I'd see for myself.
Same here, and I wanted to get right out of the cabin for a bit.
Yes, the accommodations are certainly crowded.
We wander through the footpaths, admiring the bright flowers and hanging greenery. The gardens are a place to find serenity, and I do feel relaxed in the tranquility. Erlen appreciates the nature surrounding her, passing occasional glances towards the blossoms. We make a left when we reach the fork in the road, and her face lights up with excitement when we pass a grove of fruit trees.
Ooh, an orchard! That's exactly what I was looking for.
It was? She strides towards the trees, glancing up at the branches. When I catch up, she points to a red apple hiding among the leaves.
I'd like that one, please.
Go up there and get it. That's an option. Apples do sound good. The apples do look nice, and I'm feeling kind of hungry after that walk. Good idea, let me see if I can reach it. She smiles as I step closer to the tree. I notice a sign posted beside the trees. It says, in bold letters it reads, "Please do not climb, ask staff for assistance." I guess that's that. Don't see how to look at the apple if we can't climb. We'll have to find a staff member. I look around but don't see anybody. Erlen glances at the sign and scoffs.
There is more than one way to acquire what we want.
I'm not sure ignoring the signs is the best idea. If we get caught, it won't be just us who gets in trouble, but it might affect Miss Sato and the other teachers too. Erlen shakes her head, still wearing a confident smirk.
This is exactly why you need me to lead you. We don't have to ignore the sign. In fact, we can obey the sign and still get what we want.
She's asking for a boost, isn't she? How? Her smile broadens.
Like this.
She steps up to the trunk of the tree and pushes against it. The branches above sway slightly from the pressure. After a moment, Erlen pauses, breathless.
Well, aren't you going to help me?
Will be obnoxious. Absolutely. You need to apply more pressure,
What do
more
you think
force.
I've been doing? It's not working.
Okay, I shouldn't leave you fruitless, so I've decided to help. She puts her hands on her hips.
You can say all of the puns you wish after we get the apples, but now is the time to focus.
Alright, alright. I head over. Stand on the other side of the tree, I push and shake the trunk with all my might. Barely makes an effect. In fact, seems to do less than when Erlen was pushing on her own. I frown. It's on now. I will not be bested by a tree. Using my body weight, I press against the trunk and am rewarded with a swaying branch. An apple wiggles, but doesn't drop. So close. Erlen shakes her head.
When you're on the opposite side, we just end up pushing against each other so the tree doesn't move.
Huh, makes sense.
Come over here and push with me.
Should do it at a 90-degree angle, but hey. I switch over and settle myself behind Erlen, eyeing the branches. Together we push and pull against the tree. The leaves shuffle in the treetops and a few flutter around us. The nearest dangling apple shudders precariously. A smile lights Erlen's face as she looks back at me.
It's working! Come on, go harder! Harder!
Beads of sweat line my brow as I rock the tree back and forth, feeling Erlen pushing with me. I feel her panting with effort and she lets out a soft moan.
That's it! Go faster! Faster!
A grunt escapes me as I increase speed, thrusting back and forth. The apple looks like it's about to fall.
Yes! Yes! So close! Don't stop! I'm so close!
A choking sound behind me makes me pause. I turn around and spot a guy staring at us in wide-eyed horror. Water dribbles out of his mouth as he coughs and sputters. What's his problem?
No, don't stop! We haven't finished yet! Shove it harder!
The random guy coughs again. Erlen rocks back and forth, trying to get me to move with her. Suddenly I'm very aware of how close my hips are against Erlen's behind, and the way we bump back and forth, and back and forth. My eyes shoot wide open and my face burns a deep crimson. I quickly step away from Erlen. Wait, it's not what it looks like! The guy shakes his head and looks down, then hurries away. Erlen finally notices the man, shoots me a curious look.
Why does he look so shocked?
No way am I explaining this. No idea, but we should probably stop.
No, not until I...
An apple falls out of the tree into the grass with a soft thump.
Yes! Okay, we can stop now.
She picks it up with glee. After rubbing it against her shirt, she takes a small bite.
Mmm, delicious.
Was it worth it? She nods happily, then holds it out for me.
If you don't believe me, try for yourself.
Okay, I will. Leaning in, I take a bite of the apple out of her hands. Her cheeks dust pink when my face gets close.
Is it good?
I nod as I'm about to sneak another bite. Something solid lands on my head. Ow! Rubbing my head, I spot a red apple on the ground. Erlen blinks in surprise, looking up into the tree, and then she giggles.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Eureka! I've discovered gravity! I look up into the tree and see the apples attached to the branches. I've discovered something about gravity that Isaac Newton didn't include in his law of gravitation. Erlen raises a brow.
And what would that be?
When a gravitational force pulls an object down and lands on your head, it hurts. She giggles.
Perhaps you shouldn't keep standing in the danger zone should any more decide to fall.
Good idea. I grab the fallen apple and then shuffle away from the tree. Come on, let's go before we get a concussion. Together we return back the way we came and exit the gardens. By the time we reach our meeting point, the apples are devoured. We split off and head to our respective cabins, and I relax for the rest of our free time. Soon it's time for our class activity. I grab my notebook and a pen and meet the rest of my class. Miss Sato takes us down a path through the forest and talks about the natural ingredients found here for medicine. It's definitely useful. Who knows when you can need the stuff? After we finish identifying all of the helpful or poisonous plants in the forest, we're free to enjoy the evening as we wish. I head down one of the campsite's paths to pass the time. It's nice to get away from town and just appreciate nature every once in a while. Soon the daylight begins to fade. Better turn back before it gets completely dark. By the time I'm back, the sun has disappeared behind the trees, and the campsite is buzzing with excitement. I can see a few fires flickering in the dark and hear students laughing nearby. As I walk past, I spot Mina and the others sitting in front of a campfire. She waves to me and I head over.
Hey, cuz.
Hey. As I get closer, I see the rest of the group is already circled around the fire pit. The campfire is cozy as orange, and red light flickers across their faces. I sit down between Erlen and Kira.
We were looking for you, but you weren't in the cabin.
Yeah, I went for a walk. What are you guys up to? Kosei grins and rips open a bag of marshmallows.
Making s'mores! You got here just in time.
Nice. Erlen studies her marshmallow and the graham crackers, looking uncertain.
I don't understand how this works.
How what works?
This thing.
She holds up the ingredients.
Don't you have s'mores in Sweden?
What's a s'more?
It's some more.
Some more what?
S'mores. Mina gives me an impatient look.
It's a sandwich made of graham crackers, marshmallows, and chocolate.
Erlen brightens.
Oh, a sandwich?
Before she can make one, Jiro, Daisuke, and a girl I vaguely recognize stop at our fire pit.
Hi, Erlen.
Erlen looks up and brightens.
Oh, hello, Sana.
Would it be okay if we join you?
Of course.
Thanks.
All three of them take a seat and the girl smiles at us.
I'm Sana, by the way. I'm on the student council with Erlen as your student body president.
Wow, the student body president is hanging out with us? It's nice to meet you, I guess. Must be because she and Erlen are friends. Still, it's nice to chat with older students once in a while. We can learn a lot from them. I'm Hiro. It's nice to meet you. Sana offers me a calm smile.
It's nice to meet you too.
Sana introduces Jiro and Daisuke, who is also the student council vice president. With introductions out of the way, Sana smiles, settling into her seat.
You're all first years, right?
Yeah,
It's a tradition among the upperclassmen to tell ghost stories around the campfire. What do you think? Would you like to join us in this tradition?
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Kira nods.
I love ghost stories.
Erlen flips back her hair.
Although I haven't partaken in this tradition before, I do think it sounds intriguing.
I haven't told ghost stories around the campfire either.
Sana's eyes widen.
Is that true, Daisuke? You didn't tell them at your old school?
The name is Daisuke. Daisuke is how you say I love you in Japanese.
No, my previous education wasn't nearly as fun as it is here. Oh man, you're missing out! Now we've definitely got to tell them.
Everyone seems excited except for Jiro, who shifts uneasily in his seat.
We certain that's a good idea? What if someone gets scared?
That's the point.
Mina turns to me.
What about you, cuz?
If everyone else is in, then I am too.
Good,
Her smile turns devilish.
because I know a super scary one.
Oh, then you can go first.
Kosei snorts.
I bet Mina's story's lame and doesn't scare anyone.
Mina crosses her arms.
You better hold on to your pants, Kosei, because they'll be scared right off of you.
He lifts an eyebrow.
Let's hear it then.
We all glance at Mina waiting. She takes a deep breath.
Once upon a time, there was a girl who was afraid of the dark. Ever since she was little, she'd put her hand under her bed and her dog would lick her hand to comfort her. This night was no exception. Her family was away, and it was extra dark and quiet in the house. She kept hearing a tripping noise, but tried to ignore it. She tried to be brave and go to sleep in her bed, but she felt so afraid. So, just like she always did, she put her hand down by her bed, and sure enough, her hand got licked. That made the girl feel a little better, so she fell asleep. The next morning, she was woken by the sound of her dog barking in the backyard!
Silence. Mina looks around.
Get it? Because he was outside all along!
So, kinda tempted to do this one, but we'll be realistic here. Mina, that's not the ending of the story.
Huh? What are you talking about? Of course it is.
No, didn't you wonder what the dripping sound was?
It was just a leaky faucet or something.
No, the real ending of the story is that after the girl had her hand licked, she fell asleep but woke up in the middle of the night still hearing that dripping. When she went to investigate, she found her dog hung up in the shower and a note on the mirror written in blood that says, "Dogs aren't the only things that lick." Mina yelps.
What? Seriously? That's so awful and scary.
Yeah, it's a scary story. Kosei nods.
At least somebody here can tell a story, right?
He folds his hands behind his head, looking smug.
I could do better than that.
Mina shoots him a look.
I'd like to see you try.
Sure. Listen up.
He clears his throat.
There were two girls who lived together over a bakery. One night, the two went out to a birthday party. One girl forgot to bring the cake, so she went back into the apartment to get it.
Urban Legends 101, folks.
Without turning on the lights, she walked in and grabbed the cake off the counter. Then she went to the party. Later that night, her roommate got tired and went home early to sleep. The girl ended up having too much fun, so she stayed over at the birthday girl's place. The next morning, when she returned home, there was tape around the house and police patrolling the area. She tried to go inside, but the officer stopped her, saying there was a murder. She insisted that it was her roommate and she had to see, but the police wouldn't let her go in. They said it was far too gruesome. She didn't care and pushed past them. And when she walked in, she saw her roommate covered with a white sheet. But on the mirror, covered in blood, was the most horrifying sight she ever saw. In fact, she was so scared that after one look, she fell over, dead.
Kosei pauses. Erlen leans forward in her seat, completely immersed in the story.
What was it?
It was a picture of Mina!
Holy crap! Confusion ripples across the circle. Everyone stares at him dumbfounded. Kosei smirks.
See? It's so scary you're all speechless.
He's right.
We're speechless because it makes no sense.
Kosei shrugs.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
No, it doesn't. Why would you even put me in your story?
Because you were the scariest thing I could think of.
Mina's face twists into a snarl.
I'm not scary.
Kosei leaps back in his seat with a yelp.
Ah! See? Terrifying.
Absolutely. Looking at Mina's angry pout, Kosei's right. She is scary. Wow, Mina, no wonder that girl died of fright. One look at your face right now would scare anyone half to death.
Don't you even start, cuz.
Mina fixes her glare on me. I almost feel the dagger stabbing into me. I fall over dead. The end. Sana claps enthusiastically.
Those were both great starts! Maybe I could try my luck at sharing a spooky story.
So in case you're curious about the real version of Kosei's story, it's the "Do Not Turn on the Light" urban legend. You can Google it. Sure.
Yes, of course. Any story will be better than Kosei's monstrosity.
You mean your sorry excuse for a story?
Jiro hugs himself.
I think 2 stories should be enough for one night.
I'd actually like to hear another.
Exactly. We have time for one more.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying all of these.
Sana grins.
Glad to hear it. Now, brace yourselves.
Once she has everyone's attention, she begins.
It was an especially dark and cold night. A family had just purchased a summer cabin, not unlike the ones here at the hot springs. It was an antique cabin, located in a quiet, secluded place, and the price was very low for the market. They couldn't pass up such a good deal. So, the father moved in early to get the place ready, while his wife and daughter finished packing in the old home. That night, the storm outside was wild. He thought he heard a tapping sound. The man felt uneasy, but he told himself it was just the sound of nature. The tapping grew louder. It seemed to move from room to room, almost like footsteps. Still, the man tried to rationalize it as the old house settling, but the thumping came closer and closer. Thump, thump, thump. It was coming down the stairs now, louder and louder as it fell on each step. The father wondered if there were mice or squatters in the house. Was it a burglar? Thump, door to the living room. The latch slowly turned. As the door opened, the fireplace went out.
As if on cue, a gust of wind nearly extinguishes our campfire.
Ah!
Kosei yelps and clings to Mina, who jumps with a shout.
Why are you screaming? It's not even the scary part yet.
So, you screamed too?
Only because of you.
Everyone else is also on edge. It's obvious Jiro tries not to act nervous, but his arms are crossed too tight. Even Kira and Erlen look uneasy. Only Daisuke seems to keep his composure. Sana smirks as she continues her story.
Standing in front of the man was a mirror version of himself with white hair and blood red eyes. The man stared at the creature, and the creature stared at the man. And then it said, "We're mine now!"
Sana leaps up, her face in a snarl, and her hands stretched into claws reaching towards us. Erlen screams. She jumps up behind me and throws me out in front of her.
Ah! Save me!
She burrows her face into my back. Oh man. I'm trying to be supportive here. She must be really scared to grab me like that. Her hands cling to my sides. I reach and pull them further around me, holding her arms around my waist. Don't worry, I'll protect you. I hear Erlen sharp take a breath. She feels warm and soft against my back. Pleasant butterflies flutter in my stomach as she gives me a soft squeeze. Honestly, I could stand here like this all day. She gives me another appreciative squeeze and presses her cheek against my back.
Hey, let go already.
Huh? Erlen and I separate from each other, shocked. We turn to see Kosei clinging onto Mina like a lifeline. His arms are wrapped around her head, which is tucked securely into his chest. Mina flushes and tries to get away, but to no avail.
Hey, I said let go.
But Kosei shakes his head.
No way! I am never letting go!
Laughter puffs out of me. Oh, you never want to let go of Mina, huh? The two of them freeze. They glance at each other and then jump apart.
It's about time you let go.
She huffs and strains her shirt. Kosei scoffs.
If I'd have known it was you, I would have let go ages ago.
Who else would it have been?
I thought you were him!
He gestures to me. Mina's mouth pops open.
What? How could you make that mistake?
Because I grabbed onto a bicep and it had a lot of muscle. I didn't think it could belong to a girl.
Mina flushes scarlet.
What?
The two continue to argue back and forth like an old couple. After the excitement quiets down, Sana is about to finish her story when Misato interrupts.
I hope everyone has enjoyed their evening. Lights out will be soon, so everyone should head back to their cabins. We've got an early start tomorrow.
I don't know whether I'm disappointed or relieved to miss the ending. Sana offers us a smile.
This was fun! Great stories, everyone!
Yeah, definitely. We help put out the rest of the fire and say all our goodnights, still feeling uneasy from Sana's story. Jiro sticks by Daisuke's side like glue while Kira, Mina, and Erlen trail together towards their cabin. Kosei and I return to our cabin. After getting ready for sleep, we slip off our shoes and then jump into bed. It's always weird sleeping in a new place, and Sana's story didn't help. I toss and turn before eventually falling asleep. Kosei better not wake us up at night screaming. Or worse, he better not be in our bed, damn it. I awaken to my classmates shifting around the cabin. Blinking bleary eyes, I sit up in my bunk. Everyone is buzzing excitedly about something. As I catch pieces of conversation, I become more alert. Tonight we get to soak in the hot springs. Energized, I hop out of bed and head to the washroom to change and get ready for the day. When I return to my bunk, I see Kosei sitting on his bed chatting with Daisuke. He waves me over when he spots me.
My man! I was just telling Daisuke what a good soccer player you are.
I can't pronounce the name either. Daisuke smiles.
Yes, so I hear. How come you didn't try out for the club?
Didn't want to upstage Kosei. I break into a joking grin. Because if it came down to choosing either me or Kosei, I knew he'd have no chance.
Those are some big words coming from a guy who can't score against the wall.
Daisuke and I groan and then share a sympathetic look. You let him nickname himself, didn't you? He still calls himself that, huh?
Unfortunately.
Daisuke smiles warmly.
Well, if you ever want to play or practice, let me know.
That's actually a great idea!
Kosei throws his arms around the two of us.
We should all play together sometime. Daisuke's a killer striker.
Thanks, Kosei, but I'm not that good.
Don't be modest. You're a new student who made it onto first string. That's amazing.
Daisuke's ears redden in embarrassment.
I've still got a lot to learn.
It's pretty rare for a first-year transfer student to make it onto the starting lineup. Daisuke must be a really talented player. That's really great. How long have you been playing? He hesitates.
Not that long, but I've always been athletic. I did a lot of conditioning and training exercises growing up, so the transition into the sport was pretty easy.
Daisuke was telling me the type of exercises he used to do at his old school. Really hardcore stuff. They used to start each training session with a 2-mile run.
My eyes widen. Wow, can you imagine if you had to do that every practice, Kosei?
I'd be dead.
Or a starter?
Definitely dead.
Daisuke laughs.
I bet you could do it. You've got the drive if you put your mind to it. In fact, maybe we should start working up to that.
Yeah, great.
Daisuke chuckles at the strained look on Kosei's face. He checks the time and stands.
It's been nice chatting, but I need to get back to my group. Our class is doing some sort of culture excursion.
Have fun with that.
Thanks.
I wave as he leaves. When he's out of sight, I turn to Kosei. Seems like a cool guy. Kosei nods.
Yeah, I've been practicing with him a lot. He can get pretty intense sometimes, but that's not always a bad thing on the soccer field.
Takes one to know one.
Huh?
Nothing. Kosei can get pretty intense too. No wonder the two of them get along so well. Don't we have some kind of class activity too?
Oh yeah! We'd better go before we're marked late.
He jumps off the bed then sighs.
I can't believe we still have to learn even when we're not in school.
We should demand freedom. Having the same boy in lessons while we're at the hot spring resort feels like a wasted opportunity. Yeah, why break us out of school just to stick us right back in it?
Exactly! We even have to wear our uniforms!
The least they could do is let us dress how we like.
Yeah, like in a t-shirt and shorts!
Yeah, or even something more comfortable.
Whoa, let's not get crazy now.
I laugh. After gathering our things, we head out of the cabins and join the rest of our class. Miss Sato leads us through the grounds, talking about the history of the camp resort and the health benefits of the hot springs. After the tour, we're divided into smaller groups for more in-depth lessons. There's a small museum on the resort that has more information on the formation of the hot springs. It's actually pretty interesting to learn how natural hot springs are formed. These happen to be safe for bathing, but some hot springs are naturally so hot they can boil an egg. I definitely have a greater appreciation for the intricacies of nature and the earth. We're then given some time to create presentations while we learn so we can present them to the class. Finally, our group activities finish and we're dismissed for the evening. Misato announces the time for dinner, but otherwise we are free to do as we wish. Kosei and I grab what we need from our cabins and rush to the hot springs, our spirits soaring.
I can't wait to let the healing wash over me.
Same here. We pass through the changing room and rinse off in the showers before lowering ourselves into the heated pool. Does it look familiar, anyone? It's the third time we've seen it. A few of our classmates have the same idea and lounge in small groups around the spring. Kosei lies back against the ledge line and his limbs splay out around him.
Ah, this is the life.
I bask in the calm water, feeling the warmth melt away any lingering fatigue or tension. Closing my eyes, a contented sigh escapes me. Together we sit in silence, soaking in the tranquility. This is so relaxing. Wonder how the girls are faring on their side. Are they relaxing too? Only a thin wall divides the men's and women's hot springs. Strain my ears, I hear the faint sound of voices. I'll get hate mail like you'd never imagine if I said ignore it. Wonder what the girls are talking about.
Me too.
Maybe we should go check it out. He shakes his head.
No way, dude! Sneaking into the girls' side never ends well. Besides, the water is so nice I never want to leave.
Some of these choices, man. So I wonder if you did ignore it, would he be the one pushing you for it? That's because those people got caught. We won't get caught and everything will go smoothly. Kosei hesitates, thinking it over. I grin. I think I got him. Come on, you know you want to. What if they're talking about you? His eyes widen.
It better be about how great I look.
Maybe, maybe not. We won't know unless we go. Just when I think Kosei is about to crack, he abruptly shakes his head.
No, that's a bad idea. I'm staying here.
He sinks lower into the water, his decision final. I sigh. Well, I'm still going with or without you. As Kosei leans back into the swirling steam, I carefully get out of the pool and wrap myself in a towel. I wander through the grounds, trying to look nonchalant. Scaling the wall is out of the question, I can't just waltz into the girls' side through the main entrance. There has to be some kind of passage that connects the two springs. Luck is on my side as I stumble upon a dimly lit back hallway. I assume it's used by maintenance, and it's exactly what I need. This must be a sign. Clearly I am meant to witness the girls. If only Kosei had the same faith. I walk through the empty hallway, my footsteps echoing off the walls. Suddenly I pause. There's another set of echoing footsteps. I want to hide, but it's a narrow passageway. All I can do is pray that it's Kosei changing his mind. The second pair of footsteps pauses, and I'm slightly surprised to see who is walking towards me.
Cousin.
Cousin? We both look at each other simultaneously, keeping cool while guessing what the other is doing. Are you going where I think you're going?
Yep. Are you?
Yep. I see you too are a Maino of culture. I nod and she returns the nod. Great minds think alike.
I won't say anything if you don't.
What the hell? Same. Good luck out there.
You too.
With a newly formed understanding, we each continue on our way. I'd forgotten that Mina would be in the spring too, but this has solved that problem. Everything is falling into place. This really is meant to be. I briefly consider what surprise Mina has in store for Kosei before refocusing on my goal. The passage ends in an alcove right outside of the women's hot spring. Quietly I sneak over to a dark corner. Through the curling vapors I spot Erlen and Kira and situate myself behind the nearest jutting boulder. Thank you to whoever decided that hot springs must be outside to maximize the number of hiding places. You are the real MVP. Erlen lounges casually in the water while Kira leans against the side. Between the dark water and the steam, I can't see anything properly. I take it back. Whoever knows how to fix the view would be the real MVP. Erlen looks up and I flat myself behind the boulder. When I peek out again, she addresses Kira.
Do you think Mina successfully infiltrated the boys' side?
Yeah, she's resourceful.
Erlen sighs, leaning back down.
How boring. It's much more relaxing here.
Her suggestion to go find the boys surprised me.
Did it?
Kira blinks.
It didn't surprise you?
Of course not. Mina obviously wanted a peek.
She said she wanted to play a prank on Kosei.
Yes, that's what she said, but it's obviously not what she meant. She wanted to check him out. Anyone with eyes can tell that she likes him.
Guess I'm not the only one who noticed. Kira nods.
They don't hide their feelings well, except from each other.
I wonder how long it'll take before they realize the other likes them. Maybe they'll realize it tonight when she finds him.
Kira looks skeptical.
I doubt it. I think it'd be weird when she sees her cousin there, too.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that.
Why not?
Because he's here.
What? How's that possible? Erlen sits up straight, staring in my direction. She shouts.
I know you're here! Reveal yourself!
Panic roots into my limbs, freezing them in place. What do I do? When all else fails, play dead. I don't know how many people are going to get that reference. There's no way that Erlen actually knows. If she did, she'd call me out right when I got in. No, she's making a wild guess. I have no idea why, but I won't let her know that she's right. After a moment of silence, Erlen crosses her arms and shouts again, angrier this time.
Stop pretending you didn't hear me. We know you're here, so you may as well show yourself.
Okay, now I'm not so sure. I think she may actually know I'm here. Even if she knows I'm here, I won't give up without a fight. If Erlen wants to see me so badly, she's going to have to find me herself. I remain firmly obscured by the boulder and wait. The seconds feel like hours. Kira is the first to break the silence.
What are you doing?
Oh, I was just checking.
No one's here.
I suppose not.
Do you always like to just check?
Well, no. But I have my suspicions about a certain someone. And knowing what Mina is up to, it seems likely that he was thinking the same thing. After all, they are related.
She shrugs.
But it seems I was wrong.
That may be for the best.
Agreed.
I clamp a hand over my mouth to stop from laughing. Guess she isn't so right after all. I mean, technically she is since I am here, but she doesn't know that. Erilyn shifts again, positioning herself in front of Kira.
Since it's confirmed to be just us girls here, let's discuss a more interesting topic.
Kira cocks her head to the side.
What do you want to talk about?
The boy you like.
Huh?
Kira blinks, huh? Erilyn smirks.
No need to be coy. You must have a crush on someone at the school.
My instinct is to listen closely, but then a pang of guilt hits my chest. Maybe I shouldn't be hearing this. We're here. I don't care, this stuff is juicy. I lean in a little closer so I can hear better. She answers without hesitation.
No.
Oh,
Erilyn doesn't sound disappointed at all. She lounges back against the edge of the spring.
Were you just checking again?
Erilyn grins.
how did you guess?
Kira smiles. There's a moment of silence.
Do you like someone?
I lean in closer again. Erilyn tries to remain casual, but her cheeks turn a deep red. I have a feeling it has nothing to do with the heat of the water. My pulse quickens. Does that mean she likes someone?
Even if I did, it wouldn't matter.
Kira watches Erilyn closely.
So you do like someone.
She does? Who? My heart pounds in my chest. I'm straining so hard to hear that I'm dangerously close to revealing myself. Her blush deepens.
I never said that. And a princess never reveals her secrets.
Kira nods and doesn't push further. I bite back a sigh of frustration. I was so close to finding out. Other girls soon arrive at the hot springs. Erilyn and Kira quickly switch to a less private topic. Carefully I duck back into the passage. I'm about to return to the men's hot spring when I remember that Mina was headed there. That would be an awkward encounter. I'm sure Kosei will forgive me for now returning. Changing course, I head back to the cabin. Kosei is nowhere to be found. He's probably already at dinner. I quickly shower and change, then go join up with my friends. My nose leads me to towards the dining area, and my stomach grumbles at the tempting smells. I can't wait to eat. Students cluster in groups around the long tables. I spot Kosei and Mina at one table. They sit silently across from each other, both refusing eye contact. Neither of them move when I sit down. I look back and forth between the two. Okay, what's going on?
Nothing?
Nothing.
The two of them answer simultaneously, then quickly turn away. Seriously, this is weird. What happened at the hot spring?
Nobody saw anything at the hot spring.
Kosei blurts the words out in panic. Mina shoots him a sharp glare. Okay, that random outburst makes me think that maybe somebody did.
No, you're wrong. Mina saw nothing.
Kosei, shut up.
Kosei clams up. Did Mina see something she wasn't supposed to? He vigorously shakes his head.
No. What part of Mina saw nothing? Did you not understand?
But
End of story.
I shift my gaze to Kosei, who refuses to look me in the eyes. I get him to crack when we were back at the cabin, away from Mina's piercing gaze. If you say so. Erilyn and Kira finally arrive. They hurry over and join us at our table. Both of them look happy and refreshed. Mina glances at me and raises a brow before addressing the girls.
You two look like you had a nice time in the hot spring.
Yes, it was very relaxing.
Especially because there was no one there who shouldn't have been there.
That's great.
I fight to keep a straight face as both Mina and Kosei look at me. He leans over to me and lowers his voice so the girls can't hear.
Did you make it to the other side?
Yep.
But do they know that?
Nope. It doesn't always end badly. Kosei looks impressed. The conversation lulls to a natural pause. Our tea arrives and we all take a sip. The warm cup and fragrant aroma are a perfect pair.
So Mina, how did your little excursion go? Was it successful?
Mina's face flushes bright red.
No.
Erilyn blinks.
No? You didn't make it?
I mean, yes.
Ooh, then you must tell us what happened.
Kira nods.
Yes, I'm curious too.
Me 3. Kosei is suspiciously silent. Realizing she can't deflect any longer, Mina heaves a deep sigh.
It's so embarrassing.
I'm sure it's not as bad as you think.
It definitely is.
Just tell us already.
Fine. You want to help me out here, Kosei?
Kosei stares at his tea as if it's the most interesting thing in the world.
Nope.
She glares at him and takes a deep breath.
So I thought it would be funny to hide Kosei's towel, so he wouldn't be able to find it when he got out of the hot spring.
You call that a prank? Wow, was that really the best you could come up with? Talk about lame. Please, that's weak. Mina crosses her arms.
No, it's funny.
I think it's pretty lame.
Anyway, I saw Kosei's towel, and I was just about to grab it when Kosei moved, and I saw it.
No. She better not be saying what I think she's saying. The girls gasp sharply and Mina covers her face.
Oh no, you didn't.
I did.
You poor thing. You really saw his.
Mina nods, slowly hanging her head in shame.
I saw
Don't say it! You promised you wouldn't!
his rubber ducks.
What?
Mina, stop!
He was holding out on me, that jerk.
I can't, Kosei. It's too late. Now everyone knows that you like to play with rubber ducks in the bath and have them make out.
Okay, now I'm glad I wasn't there.
It wasn't like that! They were just swimming together, and some of them may have bumped into each other.
The girls stare at Kosei and he falls silent, his ears burning.
I don't seem to understand this cultural reference.
Neither do I.
These are actual ducks?
Yeah, a whole pack of them. Yellow rubber squeaky ducks.
He had more than one?
Yeah.
You can't break up the family! That's cruel!
Erilyn turns to me.
Did you know about this?
I glance at Kosei, who gives me a pleading look. I'd better help a brother out. My lips are sealed.
So you did know,
I didn't say that.
but you're not denying it.
I just shrug.
Don't even bother. You won't get a quack out of him. I mean a peep. No, I mean a word out of him.
The girls stare at Kosei while I facepalm. There's no saving him now. Mina turns back to the group.
Do you guys see why I was so embarrassed?
Unfortunately, I do.
Kira offers Mina a comforting pat.
Yes.
Hey, I'm the victim here!
Our conversation is cut short when the food arrives. Everyone looks relieved to move on from that topic, especially Kosei. All of my food looks delicious and I dig in immediately. While we eat, Kosei suddenly sits up.
Oh, right! I almost forgot. Check out this cool thing I found.
He reaches into his pocket and shows a small trinket with intricate hand-carved designs.
Ooh, it's really pretty.
I've never seen that symbol before.
Me neither. What is it?
I'm not sure, but I found it outside of the hot spring. Maybe it's a symbol of this resort.
Erilyn finally glances over and her eyes widen. She snatches it out of Kosei's hands and takes a closer look.
I can't believe it.
Do you know what it is?
Yes, this is a Velden amulet.
Velden?
Sweden, she definitely said Sweden. Kosei looks at each of us.
Dude, I know that there's something you're not telling me.
Dude, there are many things I'm not telling you. Why would you think that?
2 reasons. Velden is not a place. And don't try to tell me it's Sweden. I know what I heard this time and the last 20 times. It was Velden. Secondly, nobody here seems surprised that Erilyn just casually name-dropped a place that doesn't exist. So, what's going on?
Seems like there's no more hiding it from Kosei, nor should we. It's a bit unfair that everyone knows except for him. Mina and Kira both look at me, and then all 3 of our gazes fall on Erilyn. She blinks.
What are you all looking at me for?
Because it's your secret.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter to me. You're the one who said not to tell anybody.
That is a very good point. I turn back to Kosei. Okay, you heard right. Erilyn is not from Sweden. She's actually a princess from Velden.
And you all knew this?
I nod. Erilyn and I go through the whole story from our chance meeting at the shrine to Kira joining the investigation and Mina accidentally finding out. Kosei listens quietly, his face inscrutable. When we finish, there's silence.
That is so
I grimace, expecting the worst, but Kosei breaks into a wide grin.
cool!
Huh?
I'm friends with someone from a totally different world! And she's actually royalty! I mean, how many people can say that?
Finally, someone who appreciates and respects my lineage. I'll be sure to remember the name of...
Silence.
The name of...
Erlen coughs.
Kanamara, of course.
Kosei!
He flops onto the table like a fish.
Yes, Kosei, that's what I meant.
I give him a sympathetic pat on the back. Sympathetic pat on the back. At least you got the first letter right. That's progress.
True.
The thought seems to encourage him and he sits back up again. He turns to Erlen looking curious.
So, what's Veldin like? Do you guys have flying cars?
No, they're too busy riding on their flying motorcycles.
Don't be ridiculous. Cars don't fly.
His face falls.
They're self-driving, of course.
That's worse.
That's awesome!
I breathe out a sigh of relief while Kosei asks Erlen more questions. Wasn't sure how he'd take the news, but I'm glad he believes us. A huge weight lifts from my shoulders. I hadn't realized how much keeping the secret from my best friend was weighing on me. So glad I don't have to lie to him anymore. Soon after, dinner concludes with an announcement from Miss Sato.
I hope you all enjoyed your day. I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow evening we'll be returning home. We'll have one more activity in the morning, but afterwards you're free to enjoy your time however you wish. Just don't be late returning to the bus.
When her announcement is over, she ushers everyone back to the cabins. I chat with my classmates in the evening, listening to how their days went. When it's time for lights out, I get ready for bed. My thoughts drift back to the amulet. Must be another Veldin here, but who could it be? Someone from the resort? Someone from the school? My eyes grow heavy, and before long I drift asleep.